Hi darling, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I have a Bible journaling process for you here in my growth book. This is my growth book that I work through, and I decided to use this month to try something a little bit different because I knew I wanted to do word studies throughout this kit. So I'm going to be using some of the elements that I pulled out. Also, some paints that I had in my stash. I'll be pulling some of those. I'm working the Authentic Faith May kit from By the Well for God, and I am on day 3. And I'm specifically going to focus on these 2 verses in Acts and doing a word study. Well, I've already done the word study for the word devoted or devoted themselves. So I'm going to be using this page over here, and let's go ahead and dig in. Okay, darling. So starting off, I am journaling here in my growth book, as I said, and I'm doing every other page. And I am using 2 different colors for the background. I am using a powder blue, and also you'll see me use a little bit of the dark turquoise to create this background. And I'm just using a brush, and I'm applying that to the background here. I'm first using the powder blue, which is more of a satin acrylic paint, and then I'll add drops of the dark turquoise, and I love the background effect that I get here. The 2 different acrylic paints that I'm using are not anything special. I think one of them is 99 cents from Michaels. It's the Craft Smart brand. And the other one is from Art Basics, and this is from the Dollar General, I think. So you definitely don't need anything fancy to create this kind of page. Acrylics are really easy to use, and I love that they don't bleed through, so it's perfect for this kind of project. So here I'm not using any fancy techniques. I'm just brushing several colors, dipping my brush into one color or another, and now I'm going to dry that off. Another thing I do love about acrylic paints is that it dries quickly, so it's easy to create and layer without taking up too much time. So now that my page is dry, I'm taking all of the elements that I handpicked for this page, and I'm just putting them around my page to see exactly where I want them to land. The page that I'm doing, I want to make sure that I have enough space for my notes, enough space for my scripture journaling, and the word study that I'll be doing on that journaling card. Starting off here, I did think I was going to use this stamp set. This is the Assurance Collage, and I thought I would use this to go ahead and do some arc marks. But I remembered that this is actually a full 4x6, and I need to do some stamp surgery in order to use this one the way I want to. So I decided to forego that. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move on to actually using the Greek alphabet stamp to stamp out my word devoted, or continually devoting themselves in Greek. And so that is going to be a 2-step process. I'm going to stamp it at the top and at the bottom. If you think that this word is a little long, it's because it's actually a phrase that I'm stamping out. And it is the Strong's Concordance G4342. And it means continually devoting themselves. And it's a verb. So the word that stuck out to me in Acts 2, verse 42, is actually the word devoted. And I love this because I love how this mixes into ministry, but also into worship. They were not only devoted to the ministry and to the church, right, the early church, but they were also devoted to the work that God gave them. And it's important for us to know that we need to not only be devoted to God's work, but we need to be devoted to God Himself. And so this is something that I really wanted to get down here. I pulled some clear stickers, and I'm using this long washi strip down at the bottom here. This is going to anchor the teapot and the floral die cut that I also pulled for this page. So this is the journaling card that you would have seen in my last process video that my husband did the voiceover for. And I decided to use this one over on this page. And went ahead with a black marker and I just outline or edge that so it pops off the page a little bit. I'm also using from the coordinating kit this black and white floral and also this black and white teapot. I thought it was perfect because I was thinking about maybe a tea party where you serve someone and how we serve in ministry. So I thought it was perfect for this page. I'm also using one of the die cut journaling spots. And there I will talk about ministry and the work of ministry. And I'm just using some tape runner to adhere these down. Now, adding some tape runner to adhere this journaling card down, this is where I'm going to do my word study. And on there, I have stamps from the notarized stamp set. I have stamped out the little box that has the date, version, book, chapter, verse, Strong's number, cross-reference, and thoughts. So using or bringing in some of the mixed media florals that are on the frame of this journaling card, I brought a couple of those florals out to use at the top and the bottom. You'll see me incorporate a little bit more of that as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the title for this, which is Continually Devoted. When we look at the Strong's Concordance number G4342, the actual word is a verb, and I love how they have a couple of definitions for it. So for the word proscatero, it means continually devoting themselves, and the definitions are to be steadfastly attentive onto, or to give an unremitting care to a thing, or to be in a constant readiness for one, a wait on constantly. So they were devoted, and this is the early church. They devoted themselves to the teaching of the disciples or the apostles, and also the fellowship of breaking bread. So coming together, breaking bread, fellowshipping with the early church. This was part of their ministry, and they were devoted to that work. They were devoted to serving in the early church and those that were teaching, which were the apostles. And I love their willingness, right? I love how they were willing to give of themselves to be able to be part of the ministry and part of the early church. Okay, so I'm sprinkling some of these die cuts around, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of these notes over to the journaling card. I add my date. The version that I was looking at was the NLT. I studied in the ESV, but I wrote out the NLT version. The book of Acts, and it's chapter 2, verse 42. I added the Strong's number concordance, and can I just say, I love how this stamp set has this, so you can add all of your word study notes right there. And then the cross-reference, I put another verse that I loved from day 3, which was Acts chapter 2, and I was looking at verses 37 and 41. So I do add that journaling onto my page, and then I'm going to add these art marks from the clear stickers because I didn't want to use the stamp set because I still haven't been able to do the stamp surgery. I add Authentic Faith to the top and also May 2024 because that is the month that I journaled through it. And on that little washi strip or faux washi strip on the top of the journaling card, I add the word in Greek and also the definitions in that empty space above the stamping that I did. Okay, finishing that off, I'm going to fill in that ministry journaling spot with ministry is not about the work, but the relationship, or not just about the work, but the relationship with the owner of the work. And this is how it turns out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. Bye.